There is no second chance out here, only the swift and the forgotten. One heartbeat decides everything. The hunters live for that heartbeat. By the time the danger is seen, the danger has already chosen. On other mornings, it is softened by haze and scattered light. What seemed extraordinary becomes part of the daily cycle. Some sunrises arrive beneath clear skies, while others emerge through mist or cloud. Yet no two dawns are ever completely alike. Sunrise remains a signal of continuity across the African savannah. It marks another opportunity for life to feed, travel, grow and endure. As daylight fully takes hold, the savannah moves forward into another cycle of survival. The horizon loses its deep colour as the sky turns clear and bright. Clouds, dust, moisture and season create a different beginning each morning. The land has witnessed countless mornings, yet each one begins the story again. The dramatic glow of sunrise fades into ordinary daylight. The eastern horizon opens first, carrying colour across the sleeping plains. At times, the sun appears as a sharp circle above the plains. Each variation changes the mood without changing the meaning. Before the sun clears the horizon, the savannah rests beneath a fragile band of silver light. Morning begins as a faint brightness that slowly separates earth from sky. Large bodies demand careful choices, especially when food and water are spread across a wide landscape. Their pace is rarely hurried, yet every movement carries purpose. They will search for food, follow the scent of water, and move with the changing land. Another cycle is drawing to an end, but the greater journey continues. Just as countless generations did before them, they will continue forward. The darkness hides both danger and opportunity. Across the African savannah, every step is part of an ancient story of survival. Some remain close together, while others continue feeding. Across the sunlit plains, massive herbivores move with a steady confidence born from generations of adaptation. The savannah may look empty from afar, but every patch of grass can hold value. When morning returns, the giants will rise and begin again. A distant line of trees may signal shade, moisture, or a safer resting place. The open horizon allows them to see far, but it also exposes them to the heat. These animals read the land through subtle changes in scent, sound, and vegetation. A raised head can be enough to change the mood of an entire group. One animal's alertness often becomes the herd's first line of defense. Every pause may be a moment of evaluation rather than rest. They do not move at random. Their roots reflect memory, need, and opportunity. During calm periods, the herd spreads out to make better use of the available food. When conditions become uncertain, individuals often draw closer together. Even the largest grazers remain sensitive to sudden movement around them. The quietest moments can reveal how much information these animals are constantly processing. Every pause may be a moment of evaluation rather than rest. Some remain high above the plains, while others fly only a short distance above the grass. From above, the savannah becomes a wide pattern of vegetation, water, trails, and movement. The sky gives birds access to a perspective unavailable to most other animals. Birds often become the first visible sign that the landscape is changing. A rising flock can transform a quiet scene in only a few seconds. Each individual responds to the movements of those nearby. When many birds move together, the group appears to behave like a single body. Collective flight can reduce the risk faced by any single bird. This coordination allows a flock to change direction almost instantly. A flock depends on constant attention and rapid reaction. Small changes at the edge of the group can spread through the entire formation. Open terrain allows distant opportunities and dangers to be detected quickly. There is safety in numbers, but also the need for precise timing. Height changes what a bird can see and how far it can travel. Some birds move alone, using height, silence, or patience to their advantage. A bird's view extends far beyond what can be seen from the ground. Yet not every species depends on large groups. Every flight style reflects the demands of life on the savannah. Flocking allows birds to travel, feed, and respond to danger more effectively. Birds use the same sky in many different ways. The result is a moving pattern that shifts without losing its unity. Their movement adds another layer of life above the grasslands. Even when the plains appear still, the air may remain active with wings. A sudden burst of flight may reveal a disturbance hidden below. Too little disturbance can alter the habitat just as much as too much. Burning and regrowth create a shifting pattern across the land. Burned areas reveal dark lines and open spaces across the plains. New growth often appears quickly once moisture returns. Its stability comes from movement, renewal, and controlled disruption. Fire leaves one of the clearest signatures on the grassland. Yet, beneath the surface, roots and seeds remain protected. At first, the ground may seem stripped of life. This contrast tells a story of damage followed by renewal. It clears old material and opens access to sunlight. The landscape that returns may be younger, shorter, and more nutritious. This variety supports a wider range of life. A recently burned area and an untouched field can serve very different purposes. Nature here rarely follows a simple path from loss to recovery. Smoke may disappear within hours, but the ecological effects continue much longer. The grassland persists through an ongoing balance of forces. The savannah depends on moderation rather than complete stillness. The two often exist together. The open plains are the outcome of processes that never truly stop. The grassland becomes richer through this diversity of conditions. Every season continues the work of shaping the land. The first green shoots stand out sharply against blackened soil. Even destruction can contribute to long-term balance. Fire changes which plants compete successfully in the months that follow. The savannah uses disturbance as part of its natural rhythm. Different patches exist at different stages of recovery. The herd surges forward, a single body carried on 100 sets of legs. The herd breaks into a gallop, flowing over the land like a living flood. They race across the open ground, then slow, then stop, and the danger has passed. Dust hangs in the air where the herd has fled, settling slowly back to earth. They drink quickly, heads snapping up between swallows to scan the plain. They run until the threat is behind them, then ease and turn and graze once more. At the water's edge they crowd together, thirst outweighing caution. The herd pours across the plain, swift and sure and wholly together. They flee together, and in their number lies their safety. They gallop away in a rolling wave, and the ground trembles at their passing. They flee as one and regather as one, and the herd is whole again. They gather at the water, wary neighbours bound by a common thirst. They scatter before the danger, then draw together again beyond its reach. They run, and the dust rises, and the plain roars with their passing. The herd flees and reforms, and survives another day. They step to the water with care, ears turning, eyes never still. They pound across the ground and vanish into the distance, swallowed by their own dust. They drink deep and drink fast, eager to leave the danger of the edge. They approach the water warily, for danger and thirst gather at the same edge. They lower their heads to drink, and for a moment they are at their most exposed. To drink is to bow the head and lower the guard and trust the open ground. They come to the water in shifts, some drinking while others stand and watch. They edge toward the water, nervous and thirsty, torn between need and fear. The chase sends them flying, and the plain fills with dust and motion. They run with everything they have, for everything is what is at stake. There is grandeur in them, quiet and complete. They ask of the world only enough to live, and never more. Nothing guarantees their survival, not even their strength. What they take from need and never from greed. They live within the plain's slow economy, taking only their share. The hunters, too, are mortal, and the plain remembers it. There is a restraint in the hunters that we would do well to learn. They take sparingly, and the plain gives what it can. The knowledge of the hunt lives on in them, taught anew each generation. They pass their ancient craft from one generation to the next. They live by the oldest bargain, to take only what is needed. Even the mightiest hunter is one misfortune away from ruin. They live always at the edge, where strength is never quite enough. The hunt is a lesson handed down generation upon generation. For all their power, their hold on life is as fragile as any other's. They walk a narrow line, where a single misstep can mean the end. Their lives hang on the same slender thread as everything else. They take only what they need and leave the rest to the plain. What they know, they teach their young, patiently and completely. No hunter hoards, and no hunter wastes. They raise their young to inherit the oldest trade there is. They take what they must, and the balance holds because of it. The plain forgives no weakness, not even in its hunters. Even the fiercest of them takes only what hunger demands. Their power protects them, but it does not make them safe. A single wound can undo even the strongest of them. Some reach toward open light, while others die back during hard seasons. This careful use of energy allows trees to endure long periods of difficulty. Survival depends on many small advantages working together. During severe heat, many plants reduce activity to conserve moisture. Narrower growth can reveal years when moisture was limited. These responses happen silently, but they are essential to survival. The savannah rewards plants able to control every drop of moisture. Thick leaves can store water and resist intense sunlight. Growth is selective when resources are scarce. Waxy surfaces reduce evaporation during the hottest hours. Some trees grow new foliage only when moisture conditions improve. Thorns protect leaves and branches, but they also reduce unnecessary loss of tissue. The plant invests only where survival seems possible. New shoots appear where the tree finds enough energy to continue. Leaves may angle away from direct sunlight. Wide rings within the wood may record favorable periods. No single adaptation is enough on its own. Every trunk contains a quiet record of changing climate. Each feature represents a solution to life under pressure. Branches also reveal how a tree has responded to repeated stress. Fine hairs may protect leaf tissue from drying winds. Small pores on their surfaces can close to slow water loss. Crossing a wet area may require more caution than crossing open grass. Waterholes are continually modified by the creatures that depend on them. Shallow water can hide holes, stones, or uneven ground. These access routes may become smoother, but also more crowded. They are natural features shaped by both geology and behavior. Animals approaching the edge must interpret incomplete information. The line between water and land is constantly negotiated. Clear water may appear shallow even when it is not. Plants follow these changes according to their tolerance for moisture. Experience often guides them towards safer entry points. Others survive just beyond the reach of regular flooding. Repeated use can create recognizable paths into the water. Some grow only where the soil stays wet. Water creates obstacles as well as opportunities. Deep mud can trap feet and slow movement. The surface does not always reveal what lies beneath. Shorelines move outward after rain and inward during dry periods. Dark water may seem deep because it hides the bottom. Reflections can make depth difficult to judge. This disturbance may reduce clarity but increase nutrient circulation. Heavy traffic can erode banks and widen the shoreline. Over time, the actions of animals can alter the shape of the water source. Large bodies can break vegetation and expose new sections of the bank. Hooves and feet mix mud, water and organic material together. As visibility fades, sound and scent begin to take greater importance. The same shadows that conceal danger can also provide safety. Movements that were easy to follow in daylight become harder to interpret. Every sunset prepares the plains for another night of uncertainty. The open plains remain exposed, but the darkness changes the meaning of that exposure. The cooling air allows some animals to travel more efficiently. Low areas darken first, while higher ground holds the light a little longer. Twilight reshapes the balance between hunter and prey. Ridges and treetops remain visible after the plains below have faded. Day and night briefly share the same sky. The last illuminated clouds seem to float above an almost dark land. The first stars may appear before the final glow has completely faded. The savannah enters a quieter phase without ever becoming truly still. Night begins at the edges of the landscape and moves inward. One by one, the colors disappear from the horizon. Even after sunset, the landscape continues its endless cycle of movement and survival. Others use the growing darkness as protection or opportunity. The disappearance of the sun changes temperature, visibility, and behavior all at once. Here there are no clocks, no deadlines, no urgency, only the turning of the light. In the face of all this, it is easy and right to feel small. Beside this ancient world, our hurried lives seem very small indeed. Here is a stillness. The crowded world has long since traded away. The land was vast before us, and our smallness is no tragedy. The land moves at the pace of the seasons and asks us to do the same. To feel small in a place like this is its own strange kind of peace. Far from the noise we have made, the old world carries quietly on. Somewhere far from here, the world rushes on. Here, it never learned how. The wild keeps a slower time, and for a while, it lends that time to us. In a hurried world, this land remembers how to simply be. Here, we remember that we were never the center of anything. In a world that never stops, this one has never once been in a hurry. The wild puts us gently in our place, and there is comfort in it. We are guests of an hour, in a house older than time. We are a brief flicker against the long patience of the land.